So we're still going to be stuck here in Venice for a little while. I guess we can use this opportunity to really make sure we're prepared for the trip ahead, so I can actually breathe. I was walking along a canal side in Venice when I found myself in the midst of a group of revelers. They wore a fabulous array of masks. All right, I could get a mask here in Venice. Some beak-nosed, others brightly feathered, and even some spun of fine glittering wire. I bowed in greeting and gave him a surprise that one tripped, turned, and then tumbled into the canal. Her friend seemed drunkenly unconcerned and fell about in pealing laughter as the woman cursed and thrashed in the dark water. I dove to the rescue, reaching her in a few strokes. Sutatas, allures. The water was cold. She kicked and fought as I hauled her to a nearby flight of steps. Fiametta is the daughter of the canal, one of her friends put in. You should have left her in it. Another drunken youth agreed. It's the only time she bathes. Fiametta coughed and choked as I hauled her from the water. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I looked her over. Her mask was long gone, and her fine clothes ruined, but her eyes gleamed. Who are you? She demanded, seeming to see me for the first time. Her friends made various kissing noises and suggested a variety of improbable roles for me. A clown, one said. No, another interjected. An agent of the Pope. Yet another added sodder voice. Fiametta's foreign lover, which caused them all to laugh as Fiametta cursed them with admirable thoroughness. Are you all right? I asked with some concern. Of course, she replied haughtily, wringing out her hair. God, I'm going to mispronounce this so bad. Venetian, I cannot drown. It is simply not possible. Do not mind Fiametta, her friend remarked softly. She is angry because of her work, and because of what happened to her brother. What happened to her brother? Sophos happened to him, she had interjected, scowling, and now that blasted Greek has joined with the Skoloa. She turned her face slightly and dropped her voice. I do not want to talk about it. She spat into the canal. Pih! If you had chanced to take the airship from Rome to Athens, you might meet Signor Sophos. Put a knife in his heart before he takes yours. I am not in the habit of knifing strangers, I told her sternly. Fiametta laughed darkly, and one of her friends took her arm. Leave such thoughts for another night, he advised, pulling her away. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, still somewhat damp. Alright, so let's avoid the trip from Rome to Athens. Oh good, and it immediately opens up. Well, thankfully I'm already in Venice. I'm not going from Venice to Rome, so we'll be fine. Ooh, even more routes. And I immediately find a route that opens up to Rome, of course. And we interact with her yet again, of course. I was waiting my turn at a gondola rank near the Rialto Bridge when a gondolier from across the canal waved frantically to catch my attention. Monsieur, I will take you. I recognized that voice. Mon Dieu, it was the very woman I had pulled from the canal the night before. I guess we'll see what she wants. You know, she might have more information besides the whole wanting me to knife her ex-boyfriend or something. Oh, wait, no, not her ex-boyfriend. Jesus, She wants me to knife somebody, straight up. Just, let's leave it at that. I waved her over, having tired of waiting in line. She made a sharp turn through the water, earning the ire of several other boatmen who had to swerve to avoid her. Fiametta! The booking agent who ran the rank shook his fist in her direction. Leave my customers alone! You deserve no customers, Zorzi! Fiametta shouted back, ignoring me entirely. Was it possible she did not remember me? Those creatures of yours are not gondoliers. They know nothing of the soul of Venice. I did not understand her meaning. Oh. I was wondering why it wouldn't let me pick a choice. Until I peered at one of the gondolas in the ranks. Parbleu! The oarsmen at the stern were machines of extraordinary beauty. Their bodies made of inlaid copper and azure Venetian glass, their faces covered by fine feathered carnival masks. Signor, my automaton gondoliers are the pride of Venice, Zorzi insisted breathlessly as he reached me. They are guaranteed safe by the Sculola, our local artificers guild. Fiametta here is a troublemaker. From the water, she called, I am a true gondolier. So I can go with the people who created these automatons. I can go with Fiametta, who kind of seems like a bitch, or go away into the crowd and avoid both of them entirely. Well, I have the opportunity for some information, so... Let's see, what am I thinking? This isn't like the last city, where the automatons were being used basically for BS and evil, I'm assuming. Anyway, so let's go with Fiametta. I totally contradicted myself, I know. I like trouble, I told Zorzi with a shrug. Fiametta gave him a perfectly executed mocking curtsy as we pulled away, no mean feat, while also holding an oar and balancing on the prow of the low craft. Zorzi supported the Ryouseiken, the Italian unification, Fiametta told me as she pushed us forward. Now he is a bootlicker of the Sculola, and dabbles in their infernal mechanicals. Why do you hate automata? I asked curiously. I do not hate them. I fear them. They are soulless. The Pope has declared them abominations, and yet they roam the streets and canals of France. Do continue. She took a deep breath. It is an open secret that the Sculola run Italy in all but name. The king is their puppet. We are a kingdom run by artificers. It is terrible! I exclaimed. Directly influencing governance was against the artificer's creed, but it seemed that the Sculola has some revolutionary ideas of its own. The gondola slid onward. I listened as Fiametta raged against the Sculola. There's money and power and their infernal devices. They're an impossible enemy. She gave me a sharp look before tugging a length of gray and red braid from her cap and handing it to me. But there are those who fight still. The Zouave of Rome will never surrender to Sculola. Perhaps, my friend, you are one of us. Well, honestly, I'm not a big fan of the automata or the automated bastards that I've seen so far, because in one city, there's such an influence to where regular musicians can't play their instruments on the streets because they interfere with how they work. And now here, they've basically taken over the jobs of people who would usually be gondoliers. So there's definitely some implications that non-humane individuals that aren't human, are taking a way more bigger influence than I actually feel comfortable with. So I took the braid and nodded. She smiled and gave me a small, sincere salute. We lapsed into silence. We rode past palazzos and Gothic churches, each more grand than the last. She gave me a potted history of Venice in her own idiosyncratic style. It seemed the foundations were being fitted with water pumps to push water downwards and thereby lift the city up. The school of will make Venice into a ship, Fiametta told me, and no doubt they will sail it around the world to make war. I did not like the thought of a city of artificers who had broken from the guild's credo, roaming free about the world. Indeed, indeed. The braid should fetch a good price in Quilm, Maine, if we don't find a use for it. Ah, makes sense. Ah, right. Let's get a mask. It's going to be worth a lot of money in Antalya. A pamphlet detailing Monsieur Sofo's ships. Oh, he is with the other people. I mean, that mask is truly horrifying. Please put it away. He is with the Scuola, so we gotta be careful. Alright, so we still gotta wait until tomorrow. That's fine. Anything else I want? Do I want a top hat? Not really. Railway cap, a hairbrush. I think we're good. With what remained of the day. I afforded my master every service, ensuring he had fresh tea. Didn't want to piss him off. Wow, that's a lot of hearts. That is a lot of hearts. I think we should get going. We're already like a bit less than an eighth into our adventure, and we're barely where we need to be. So, sweltering heat and mild seas. This looks like a wearisome journey. Well, nothing I can do about the heat. All there was like a top hat and a brush that was in the store, so we'll bear with it. We left Italy directly, boarding a ferry to take us to Athens via the Port of Patras on the East Coast. Alright, his health is good. What have you learned about Athens? All anyone knows about Athens is its ancient history. Did you discover anything in the paper about Meteora Valley? Priests of all kinds inhabit the valley and make followers of all their visitors. Wonderful. Ah, there it is. I do need to figure out a way to get to Antalya, so I'm guessing there's a way to get there from Izmir, so I'm hoping from Athens I can go to Izmir and then make my way to Antalya. Why do I keep seeing something that says like day 6 on here? Is that the day somebody got here to Izmir? If that's the case, then wow, I'm really far behind. The boat was crowded with little room for luggage or perambulation, but with plenty of characters. I fell into broad conversation with a man named Monsieur Mikos, who worked in Venice but was affianced to an Italian girl from a small village in Antalya. It is best to marry outside of one's own, I tell you, he enthused. For we all are all citizens of the world now, are we not? I am sure you're right. Love knows no borders. It does not, he replied, but sadly money does, so I will not be married for some time, I think. What is your work? I asked. I work the ships, the ferries from Athens to Izmir. They're cheap, frequent, and fast. Perhaps I'll see you again aboard. Yes! That's exactly what I wanted to hear, so he can take us to Izmir, and maybe because of this, he'll give us a little bit of a discount, you know? We're not going to be able to make the money that we want from the stuff that we have until we get to Antalya. And we can't get to Antalya unless we get to Izmir, I'm sure.